Lesson Introduction. Hey everyone and welcome. Bobby here, ready to bring you the fresh English-style vocabulary lesson. This is where we ditch the boring lists and learn English the natural way, just by listening. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the vocabulary from our chat about those dating stories. You know, the ones from the Second Date Update radio show clips we were listening in on. We talk about why first dates sometimes crash and burn, why people don't click. We heard some awkward, messy interactions, right? Our goal here isn't to memorize definitions. It's to feel the meaning, to understand how these words work in real conversations. We're going to pull out the key stuff from that source material so you can use it naturally. Ready? Let's jump in. First impressions and early dates. Okay, first up, let's talk about those initial moments. First impressions are huge in dating. Sometimes things go well, maybe they went okay, but other times, things started badly, like with Dana and Kenny. Remember Kenny's aggressive, unwanted kiss right away? That was a big red flag, wasn't it? A sign of trouble. He gave her that kiss within minutes of meeting her. Sometimes the reasons why there's no second date are just all over the place, really varied. Some are just awkward comments. Others are bizarre misunderstandings, very strange, hard to understand. Talking too much and crossing lines. Remember Jacob and Amanda? Amanda called the show. She thought maybe things went okay. But Jacob, well, he didn't feel the same way. For him, the date felt like free therapy. That means he felt like Amanda was just using him to talk about her problems, not actually connected with him on a date. She just kept comparing the waiter to her ex, telling endless stories. It really highlights the problem of baggage. You know, past relationship problems that affect new ones. Just dumping all your ex stuff on a first date, it doesn't help build a connection. Jacob felt she wasn't into him, meaning she didn't like him romantically. So, after the date, he looked up her ex on Facebook. Maybe that was a little weird, right? A bit strange. And then he sent the ex a friend request. Whoa. Amanda's reaction showed her focus was still on the ex, even asking about his profile pic. Sending that friend request? That was definitely crossing a line, doing something inappropriate or unacceptable. It was more than a little weird. It was like, that's something, meaning it's significant, notable, maybe questionable. Bad behavior and misunderstandings. Okay, moving on to Dana and Kenny again. That aggressive, unwanted kiss was bad enough, but Dana gave him the benefit of the doubt. That's a great phrase. It means she decided to believe he might be okay, despite the bad start. She decided to give him a chance. But then at dinner, he flipped off a baby. Can you believe it? He tried to play it off as a joke, pretend it wasn't serious. But doing that, it just speaks volumes about his lack of social awareness. It clearly shows he doesn't understand basic social rules. You could see the clash in their basic behavior, a strong disagreement or conflict. Dana noped out immediately. Noped out, it's slang for quickly saying nope or no and leaving a situation. There was no way she was staying. It was totally jarring, shocking and unsettling. Then there was Kelly and Dylan. Kelly felt a vibe, a feeling, an atmosphere, a connection. She suggested they hang out again one-on-one, just the two of them. But Dylan just laughed it off, dismissed it lightly. The twist? Dylan was gay and interested in Kelly's male friend. He thought it was obvious, clear to everyone. But Kelly read it completely differently. That a classic misunderstanding, based on wrong assumptions. Believing something is true without proof. It shows how easily wires get crossed right at the start, meaning communication fails. People misunderstand each other. Intense aftermaths and big surprises. How about Liz and Travis? Their date ended badly. That's an understatement. Saying it was bad isn't strong enough. It was much worse. They had a huge argument, and Travis kicked her out of the car. You'd think it was a done deal. Finished, over, right? But on the radio show, things didn't get calm. They got intense, and even weirdly sexual on air. There was maybe some leftover attraction. Even after that disaster date, Travis was still trying to reconnect unconventionally, in a strange, unusual way. He was pushing boundaries, definitely going too far. Things got really messy. And finally, Britney and Noah. This one was mind-blowing, totally shocking, in a totally different category. Britney called Noah 3 years after they hooked up once. She called him out of the blue, completely unexpectedly. Why? To tell him he had a daughter he knew nothing about. Imagine that phone call. Talk about life-altering news. A huge, massive surprise. Noah was in shock. His world turned upside down. But eventually they worked through it. They talked. They dealt with a challenging situation. They figured it out. It shows that sometimes unexpected things, even life's curveballs, can lead to amazing outcomes. They decided to build a life. Now, years later, they're going to be engaged. Their daughter is going to be the flower girl. It's incredible, crazy in fiction. When you hear that, you just want to say, get out. Like, no way. I don't believe it. You couldn't make this stuff up. It really goes to show you never know what will happen. This whole situation had long-term consequences Noah never imagined from that one starting point. Britney decided to reach out after all that time, to make contact, concluding thoughts and grammar note. So, all these stories highlight how complex connecting with someone can be. We see the variety of reasons things don't click. We see miscommunications. It's important when you're navigating those early interactions to remember how different things can look from the other side. Quick grammar note. And remember how we told these stories using different times? We talked about events that happened, the past tense. Things happening right now or general truths, the present tense. And things that will happen or we predict are going to happen, the future tense. The pronouns also change when someone tells their own story, the first person. Language changes. Lesson takeaway. All right, that's our fresh English style vocabulary deep dive for today. Remember, the key is listening. Listen to this lesson many times. Listen until you don't even have to think about the words. You just feel them. Let them sink in naturally. You'll start understanding and using this kind of real, conversational English much more easily. This is Bobby signing off. Keep listening, keep learning, keep it fresh,